Greetings, programs. It's Bellamy here from Midnight Suns, and welcome to my review for Tron Ares. So I actually saw this movie a few days ago, but I really just needed a few days to really think it over and really give a proper review for this movie because I'm such a huge Tron fan. Like, as you can see, I'm literally wearing my Tron Legacy jacket that I bought 15 years ago. I've been a huge Tron fan since I was a teenager. And yeah, needless to say, I had how do I say this? I actually had very low expectations for this movie because as a huge Tron Legacy fan, the trailers for Tron Ares just didn't look like it would live up to the hype of Tron Legacy, the greatness that is Tron Legacy. Like, Tron Legacy is literally one of my favorite sci-fi movies of all time. And so it is with great surprise that I actually say that this Jared Leto-led Tron movie is pretty good. Like, don't get me wrong, this movie isn't amazing, but it is surprisingly decent. Yeah, I would even say it is good. The music by 9 Inch Nails is just amazing. I mean, it's hard to compare this to Daft Punk's Tron Legacy soundtrack. I actually prefer that soundtrack, but this soundtrack is still freaking amazing. I thought all the acting performances in this movie were surprisingly good. Like Jared Leto, who in the past few years has really made himself known as one of the weirdest actors in Hollywood. But I guess because he's playing a computer program trying to learn how to be human, it actually fits his weirdness really well, because he really doesn't seem like a regular human in real life to begin with. And so the casting for the main character Ares, Jared Leto, is actually pretty perfect casting. Needless to say, Jeff Bridges reprising his role as Kevin Flynn, the iconic dude Kevin Flynn, is also freaking amazing in this movie. All the other actors in the movie were pretty alright. Greta Lee, Evan Peters, they were okay in this movie. And Cameron Monaghan, who you might know as Cal Kestis from the Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order series of video games, he's also in this movie in a pretty small role, but I thought his little cameo was awesome. And speaking of Star Wars, Jodie Turner-Smith, also known as Mother Anastasia from Star Wars The Acolyte. She was awful in The Acolyte, but in this movie she is surprisingly decent. Like, she plays this pretty one-dimensional supervillain. She's like this Terminator character, and I actually thought she pulled off that role really well. Like, sometimes simple movies really just require a really good one-dimensional villain, and I thought that she served her part really well. But speaking of her character feeling like Terminator, that brings me to my biggest complaint about this movie. I'm a huge Tron fan, and I think this movie is more of a Terminator movie than a Tron movie. And let me explain. So, you know, in the first two Tron movies, it is all about humans going into the digital world, into the grid, and just the awe of being able to experience the characters going into this whole other world. That is really the charm of Tron to me. But this movie is the opposite. This movie is about computer programs coming into our world. And so it really felt more like a Terminator movie because it's about these unstoppable robots who are coming into the human world to try and kill humans. It is really a Terminator movie without time travel. Jodie Turner-Smith's character, she's this super villain program who keeps coming into the real world, and the reason she keeps coming into the real world is because she can only survive in the real world for 30 minutes at a time, and so she just keeps coming over and over and over. It's like each time you stop her, she just respawns and comes back over and over, and that's what the movie is about. It really does feel like a Terminator movie. And so Greta Lee's character, she's like this main human character, she's the good guy. Each time the good guys manage to de-res Jodie Turner-Smith's character, Jodie Turner-Smith just respawns and comes back again, and they get hunted for another 30 minutes. And don't get me wrong, that was actually really entertaining. Like, it's actually a really entertaining sci-fi movie, but as a Tron movie, I don't think it's a very good Tron movie. I mean, there are some small sections in the movie where they actually enter the grid, but I would say the combined screen time of all those sections of where they enter the grid, I'm pretty sure it's less than 10 minutes in the whole 2-hour movie. So this is really a movie about programs coming to the real world rather than humans going to a digital world. And yeah, just bear that in mind before you watch this movie if you haven't already seen it, because if you're expecting it to be like the first two Tron movies, you might be sorely disappointed. But that being said, if you are a fan of the first two Tron movies, I actually really appreciate all the callbacks, all the Easter eggs, all the references to the previous two movies in this movie. Especially if you are a fan of the 1982 Tron movie, there are way more references to the original Tron movie than there are to Tron Legacy. And while I am a bigger fan of Tron Legacy than the original Tron, I am still a fan of the original Tron, and I did really enjoy all the references they made to the original movie in this movie. And yeah, I like all the 1980s nostalgia in this movie, and that was definitely one of the highlights of the movie. And I'm not somebody who often recommends people to watch 3D movies, but I think this movie, Tron Ares, is a movie that if you haven't already seen it, I think you must experience it in IMAX 3D, especially if you want to really appreciate the whole spectacle of the movie. Like, this movie, honestly, the story is pretty meh, but the visual effects is freaking amazing. This is the definition of a big sci-fi action Hollywood blockbuster popcorn film. So yeah, watch it in IMAX 3D if you can. And now let me give this movie a final score. I'm giving Tron Ares a 7 out of 10. I wish this movie was more like the first two Tron movies, but at the same time, I really do appreciate all the references to the first two Tron movies in this movie. Like, I can tell that the people who made this movie genuinely care, genuinely love the previous two Tron movies. And so as a big fan of Tron, I also did really appreciate this movie. And yeah, I can highly recommend it if you are just in the mood for a fun sci-fi action film. Oh, and one more thing, make sure you stay for the mid-credit scene. Like, if you're a fan of the original Tron movie, you're gonna love the mid-credit scene. And with that being said, that's all for this review programs. If you haven't subscribed already, please do consider subscribing and hit that notification bell to keep up to date with everything going on here on the Midnight Suns channel. And if you don't do that, you will be de-rest very shortly. Thanks again for watching, and as always, stay gold and never fade. Bye everybody.